Hey there, Scorpio. This is Joy with Joy the World, here to take an intuitive peek into the energies going on around you. Friends and subscribers, welcome back. And if you are new to this channel, click that hot, sexy subscribe button down below because it is free as always. I'd also like to welcome our new subscribers here into the family. Glad to have you here. I look forward to seeing you glow up into your shine, into your best, bold, bright, most beautiful, impossible dreams, coming forward to satisfy and fulfill your very soul as you discover who you are and the beauty of who you are here on this planet, right? No more having to try and work on yourself and fix yourself and see yourself as a problem. You begin to discover and uncover the beauty and the gifts that you buried in the earth in your divinement when you were on the other side creating your destiny, your hair color, your skin color, your parentage, where you were going to be born, all of that, and how your zodiac wheel is aligned and turns. So let's step forward into what you have to say here. You, Scorpio, weren't coming in with a question like some of the other signs. You were coming in with a statement. You're talking to me here about, and it's coming in through the black tarot, y'all pardon me, because boy, when you make me scratch my eye, that means you're about to see something, baby. It's going to come into the visible, tangible realm quickly, and Big Papa is over here reiterating that is, yes, you can count on me. That's what he's saying. And Saturn very much has to do with earthy embodiment systems and things like that coming forth. And the system that you're talking about here, the statement that you're making, is the lovers, the divine lovers, the divine ment of the lovers. That ment is like an establishment. It's almost like Hierophant issued, is that it's bringing in a collaboration and a commission that was divined centuries, millennia ago, that type of thing. And it's like coming from the other side of the moon. All right, exploring your feelings, baby. And you're like, my feelings. I'm Scorpio. I'm like, I know you are. You're like, not just the stuff all up in here, but the stuff down there too. Good thing my camera doesn't go there today, right? You can get what I'm saying. And you're like, oh, you know what that does, Joy? That brings us out of the void, the vacuum, and the black hole. This is that game of life. And I don't mean the life. I mean like that sucktastic game of life. If you, are ancient enough and you saw them, one of the first movies, it was a portrayal of a reality show, and it was back in the 80s, I think, and it had Arnold Schwarzenegger in it, and it was called Running Man. And basically you had to compete in this and your life was on the line. These little tricks and games that you had to play actually had life or death consequences. It's not like the other ones where it was like, whoops, whammy, just a little bobo there. No, this was legit. And you had gotten sucked down into that game, into that trap, kind of like a Venus flytrap, right? It looked amusing, it looked amazing, but you didn't realize it had a gravitational vortex into it that sucked you in and magnetized you in its core. Almost like what I'm seeing here is if you got pulled into the depth of a speaker and you got sucked in along the mesh, and because that vacuum is going on behind it, it couldn't suck you in and like chew you up in the blender, but you also couldn't be released because the force was so great that you could not come out of it. You could not be released. So in a sense, it is a black hole, but you're calling it the void, right? And it has to do with the game of life and the not so cool game, right? Not the fun, but the lies and that marbling of like being turned to stone, being petrified, being frozen, being relegated to this form of life that was playing out here. That's what you're being delivered from as you begin to move through this feeling-based relationship. All right? You got the feels all over, and some of you, I see a lot of Jupiterian energy coming in. There's also some return of Neptune, some sensibility of self, like knowing yourself, but in an inherent way. It's kind of like knowing your flow and your rhythm. Like if you dance, you know how you like to move to certain songs, kind of what is your jus, your style, your pattern, that type of thing. Oh, yeah, your pattern is unique. It's not like this. It's not cut and dried. It's, not being put into a box. So it's, you're talking about a horse of a different color, a little bit of Wizard Oz going on in there. So as you go forward in the statement, you talk about that empowering you. Can you see the burst, the boom, the blast, this coming out? That this sucks you out of anonymity and brings you into the eye of all the living is what you're talking about here. And now you've gone from that gravitational vortex downward into the spiral of life, into like Metatron formation and the Fibonacci sequence. Oh, baby, let me tell you, you've kicked off the power of a sequence of events, Scorpio. a sequence of events. And remember, you were making my eye itch, so you are going to see these occur, and you're going to kind of, you be all cool, collected outward. Nobody will know, Scorpio. You'll still look beautiful and amazing and handsome, just like that. You'll be like, but inside you'll be like, what? As these things play out, and you'll think, what is happening? Is this really happening? I cannot believe my eyes. But you're like not willing to say that because you're like, okay, I'm believing him. I'm believing him. Is this really happening? Is this really happening? Is this really happening? That's what you keep saying. And you're like this. You're the magician who's like this. And your magical powers that you're surrendered. And the light comes in and through you. And that dissipates and tears the veil. It makes the opening into the whole new world. It's the parting of the waters. It's like a baby transitioning outward without the birth pains. All right, this was the pain. This was the pain and suffering, and not even here what had happened prior. This dislodges you into the real living of life and the magic of who you are, right? Of the wonderment of like, how could this be happening? It's not that you question or go against, because there's no energetic pullback or kickback or drawback on it. It's literally thrusting and drawing you forward. And it's awakening your man power, man or woman, whoever you are, is awakening your rod and your strength. It's awakening whatever's going on in the Pisces of your chart. It's awakening some stimulation. We'll just call it the little rose of the divine feminine going on there, being like, well, stimulated. And that stimulate, it just like, it causes you to expand and to grow beyond, like the butterfly. You break out the chrysalis. Oh yeah, they're telling me now, definitely. Woo! That breaks you out of the chrysalis, and here's what is going on up top with the light seers. That breaks you out of a bit of this doubt. There's a bit of self-doubt going on. How could this be? How is this cosmos coming in for me? Because what we're seeing here, this is not what's really going on in the cosmos. The cyan is what we're being shown here in the divine mirror, the reflection. This is showing us what's going on in the battlefield of your mind. You know, a feeling like, can I really do it? Is this really meant for me? And that's why you created this divine statement down below, and not even a question, because you said from yourself to yourself, you like, bae, here is what we're going to do. We're going to do what we do best. But this time, it ain't just the feels. It's the whole full in fulfillment of the promise. It is the thing that is earth-shaking, earth-shattering, and it brings you into a whole new world. This kabam, this kaplow, this whatever, and the magnificence of the divine light, the wonderment coming in, which rewrites the script, and it changes the poles and the playing of the game, and not that game. This is like the energetic momentum, that type of games, which you're talking about here. It changes the momentum and the energetic grid of the planet under your feet, which awakens that Piscean lure and lure. Lure. What makes you attractive? The beauty, because beauty is in our feet. It's in the eye of the beholder, but it's in our feet. Our feet are a reflection of the full tower that we are carrying. And as they align, it is showing what is going on with our alignment here. And that brings you through to the other side, dissipating and moving past, bypassing the self-doubt, casting it out so you can truly step in and inherit what? A reiteration, okay? This is the lovers. This is divine in heaven coming down to earth with a promise thereof. Okay, and this is it stepping into fruition here on earth. Talk about some fruity pebbles, baby. Who got some bam going on? Divine deliciousness. That's the cosmic light, because this is sitting underneath what? You got it. Okay, you've held the future in your hands, and you've divined it, and you've brought it in. You brought it in through the promise. And this is two people that make the promise and the commitment one unto another. Okay, that is, it's been made so many times that it finally arrived. It finally arrived. There's something about dipping the fingertips. What are you talking about? Let me do the work here. Okay, we're going to find out from True Heart what you're talking about dipping the fingertips. One of you, you're either dipping them or there's still residue from before. Okay, fine. Y'all, it cracks me up when I won't pick the bottom, because I don't always know. If I don't hear it, if I don't know, I don't go, right? And then I go to shuffle, and that's what came out. So in the fingertips, the eyes of the healer. One of you is a healer, okay? One of you has the mark of the healer, And that is someone who has very strong Chiron placement. We all do, but like, I'm here to heal the healers, not just this healer, because I fully am convicted and believe that the cobbler's kids should have shoes. The chef's children should have food. We all should have the fulfillment and the satisfaction, right, of who we are first and foremost, overflowing and abundant in our life. And out of that overflowing abundance, it goes out into this world and gestates the amnios all around us, where we all begin to have this bang, bang, bam, bam, fruity pebble life going on. The light coming in, the light's coming on, the power, the possibility of seeing it in this earthen plane, that it's real. Seeing that it's possible, that goes beyond any words that we could preach to people, right? And that's what it is. This tower is coming in as an evidence of you being rebuilt, restructured, refilled, refueled for a time such as this. Oh man, heaven is rooting for you. The divine cosmic eye is rooting for you. Your destiny creator self, you could call it your future self, you could call it your eternal self, whatever. The part of you that destined this and created it has got the eye on you, and your divinity is aligning, and the two are coming fully in together. Talk about cosmic sequencing, driving into the eye of God. It's more than just the eye of God. It's the emanations therein that it affords you. Won't leave you, baby. I do it, love. I love you. You're asking for your emanations, your best friend, right? You're calling in for the angelarium. So let's get some love here for, all right, let's get some love here for Scorpio. And that's trying to bring out something else that you need to know. Go the distance. They're wanting you to believe beyond belief. And that doesn't mean, remember, you're going to see it. These are sequence of events, at least 3 of them occurring, that you're like, whoa, for me? Whoa, how'd that happen? It's going to be boom, 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 boom. But good ones, right? But the going the distance means endure to the end, will inherit the earth. There's an inheritance coming in for you. Some of you check your 8th house, okay? And someone doesn't have to die for you to inherit. It can be a promise. It can be a set stage in time that it's been promised to you that it was coming on in. And they're telling you to hold on to keep that divine connection, that knowledge of self, and knowing that you are the darling, you are the star, you are the bringer and the breaker of the dawn, the maker of the magic that brings it into this world so that others see the power, the possibility of who they are, that they can be delivered out of the game of life, life university of life or death, black or white, right or wrong, but coming into the synergistic whole mind self. I mean, you talk about, y'all, this is love, and your love and pleasure, and don't get that confused. But this brings in that whole beauty, and it does away with these energies, with the fuggery, with the projections, with the lies, with the trepidation, with the worry, that sort of thing. And it brings in this, where we begin to see a tower, and the tower is being structured and brought in, healing and rising up and lifting up all that you bequeath to yourself in the earth for a time such as this. These are provisions. These are opportunities. They are prosperity. Those are like seeds that happily spring up. They're like bells ringing. I hear them just springing up from the earth. Beautiful blue bells, blue bonnets ringing and going, and your heart being full of delight. And Keter is showing me it is the answer to your prayers. That's why they're saying go the distance. You prayed the prayers. Now inherit. Inherit. I mean, baby, it says when you know that you know, that's the confirmation that why you made a statement and not a question, because a question crosses the action potential and takes potential and begins to put into the actual. You made a statement, so it has already occurred. It is already done here on earth as it is in heaven, from yourself to yourself, from your destiny to your divinity, returning unto your destiny and creating that full true heart energy, the showers coming on in, breaking the chains that has been on your love. The evidence and the freedom that you're touching me. You're the original flame of life, the divine flame of God. And don't let that word inflame you. God is you, the diviner and creator, the destiny, the creator here in this world, because you are life begetting life, connecting to life, and you are in that flow, and we are in and of ourselves. That's the yod. It's the little, like when they say a dot or a tittle. Let me tell you, pull away our punctuation and it shifts everything, and the mind has to work overtime in order to gain the measure and the connection, the expression of what the communicator was writing. Correct? They're there for discernment and clarity. You are here for discernment and clarity to our world, to declare. It is finished. It is done. You are well able. It is possible. Life loves you. I love you. You are worthy of these good feelings, of this magic of touching your own soul, holding it in your hand, and being able to come forward and come out of that bondage and feel good all over from top to bottom. For life to make love to you, to be set free from the clouds of shame and shadows and doubts and those things that harangued you that you couldn't even feel pleasure because of the torment that was going on. You're being restored, as Big Papa's saying here, into the flow, into the opportunity, into the favor. Knowing that you're the apple of your eye, that you choose you. I choose you. That's why I'm here. It's truly, genuinely why I'm here. I'm one of these faces, one of these hearts coming alongside you. I love you. I've seen you since before I was born. You are the dream of my heart. Your radiance, your beauty, your genuine happiness, the peace in your soul when you lay down to sleep at night, the paycheck in the bank that pays your bills and feeds your kids, or dresses you in the things that delight your soul and cause it to dance and come forth like cosmetic fruity pebbles. You're the dream that I'm holding on to, loved one. The power of possible for your life, that you could know that you are well able. Give yourself permission to be loved, to inherit all that you've hoped and dreamed and prayed for. That the old just begin to shatter and break away, like when the nothing swept through in the never-ending story. If you haven't seen it, it's that thing that begins to clear away and deconstruct, no longer destroy. To deconstruct for this fresh new beginning, for this erection of who you are, this incoming energy of beautiful divinement that takes away all the pain and limitation and the difficulty that you have experienced. Being sucked into that vacuum and that void without having even known it, without being warned or being aware of the implication of certain decisions or things that happen. When you're set free from that, your heart does abound. Your joy does abound. Your happiness, your freedom does abound. And that is an example of love to our world that transcends this little hole that we vocalize through. It is the true cyan, it is the living example that then we no longer see the crows in the bondage. We look beyond to see the stars, to see the Milky Way, to see the cosmos, and to see one another with that purity, that power, that impact, and that love. I hope you see that in my eyes. It's the truth of my heart. And I believe when we see it in one another, it happens, because wherever two on earth agree, it is done. I pray that you're finished with this, that here you are, you're coming out cosmic, like a beautiful shooting star coming forth into our world as one of my answered prayers. For each person to be happy, healthy, and free. Free from the difficulty, the darkness, the great darkness. And that you erupt into the cosmic power, the creative power of who you are. And you do away with the shadow, deception, denial, setbacks. And it begins to mend and rectify because you persevered. You've already severed. Here you go, last lap. Here you go, last lap. And you're going into what? The one-on-one. You're going to where you will see yourself plainly and clearly with no more veils, no more tattering, no more tearing, no more shadow of doubt or shadow of turning. You will be your own best friend. And when that happens, that's when these things come in and they arrive. You will see it, you will know it. And can anything move you off of your heaven on earth? It's yours. And I'm clapping in a circle as this happened in a Z formation. Spirit fingers, I'm a whoop whoop, whatever I got to do to let you know I love you, Scorpio. You're treasure of my heart. Thank you for teaching us about the I amness, teaching us about this divinement of who we are and how life loves us here on earth, not in some futuristic time, not with conditional love and getting things right and having to self-develop and do all these other things. No, just the purity of discovery of who we are. This one's for you, Scorpio. You afford it to all of us, and forgive me for crying. These are tears of joy. I can say that, right? Because I'm joy. I pray my joy to your world too. I love you. Give it a like if you enjoyed this. Also, share because you care. Get this word out to our world so that it becomes this beautiful place for all of us, right? all of us that would color our world with love. Color my world with love by leaving me comments down below. Let me know what's going on with you, okay? I care about you, friend. Talk to you soon.